Hey folks, and welcome back to the channel. So we've got another update from TFL regarding Station. We've got another update from Station. The long pause. It's so early here in the morning. The best bit of advice I could give everybody right now is sit on your hands. Do not use anything. Even if it feels okay, even if it works, even if your grandma said it's okay, don't do it. We do not know who is on the other end of everything. The biggest risk right now is that more or less you are shown a fake version of Station and it asks you for your monomics, for example. You think, oh, I've been logged out. I just need to put my monomics in. They must have fixed Station. Boom, you put your monomics in. What's just happened? You've just given your wallet to a scammer. Now, during these times, I've always said we should have a maintenance mode at the very least, because maintenance can cover a very broad term of things. I think this is something that we would be able to just cram into the United Vision because it's something really small and it is just as simple as going into a mode. It would really help us all out. It would help people not make silly mistakes because ultimately, right, this has got 116 likes. Not many people look at TFL for updates, and they're also covering a broad consensus themselves as they hold legacy assets for our blockchain hostage, more or less. They refuse to hand them over. So this sort of stuff, it consistently puts our own blockchain at risk, but they're simply saying to avoid potential phishing scams, just do not interact with anything. And that's everything to do with Station across board. Just don't utilize it right now. That's probably the best thing that we can do just to stay 100% safe. You have got Station here. I'm going to leave a link to this in the description because if there's any official updates, they're going to come from this or they're going to come from TFL. Now, I've put in my own little input here and I've said the dangers are real. And the dangers here are we don't actually have any control over our own infrastructure, and the need for chain-owned, chain-run infrastructure it's critical at this point, and it would send strong signals out. It would be great, wouldn't it, if TFL just went, hey, they're their own blockchain, they're doing well, who do we hand the legacy assets over to? The L1 team maybe? Yeah, that would be great if they were going to follow governance and they were actually going to launch and utilize those legacy assets, which, you know, in our right minds, we should be following this route to get our own systems, our own infrastructure. Everything should be chain owned, chain run. I think this is a good way to go. And the people who believe, you know, allowing privatization, it's really good, yeah, but not at the beginning. When you're birthing a blockchain, you don't allow your core sectors to be privatized. So, you know, you have to pay for your legs to work, or it's horrible if, for example, you have to travel somewhere and you have to pay a toll to get over a bridge somebody built 1,000 years ago. It's one of those things. Now, like I was saying, the dangers are real because a lot of people just aren't going to be seeing these updates, and a lot of people are going to think, oh, it's working, you know, this is fine for me to utilize, for me to go into. Now, a lot of people are going to be wondering, where can I see metric data for all of this sort of stuff? And you can come and find it on Moonrunners. I'll leave a link to this in the description. You can find everything that you pretty much need in here. I do miss LUNC Dash, I must admit, just because I'm so used to it. New format, new layout takes time to get used to. But this has got everything here. Everything you need to know, the pools, the parameters, you know, the fact they've got these parameters here are actually really good because you can go in and you can see what is actually active on the chain. So, for example, soon on these parameters, there should be one for projects which allow them to avoid the burn tax. Do you know why this is so good? Because we're providing a flourishing environment for projects to actually see the chain and go, we could build there, but we're going to get hit a lot on the burn tax. Well, now they can actually avoid that, like Binance, right? We had to meet Binance's terms with whitelisting, and the fact they're bringing this forward is really good. I'm going to do an independent video on it and try reach out to more projects to just come and launch on the blockchain, because a lot of the time what we find is they look for influencers to help them launch because they always want the best go of it. But I just believe you need to just go headfirst into stuff like this and sort of commit to it, do it organically, build it up from the bottom, and do it all correctly, and just try backfeed things into the blockchain as much as you can. Now, we are seeing some people coming out and building for the blockchain, but at the same time, we're also seeing, I think there's around 3 dexes that are going to get spin up soon. Different token factories that are going to get spun up, which will birth loads and loads and loads of shit coins and meme coins alike. So there's all these different sort of means that people do develop to suck liquidity either out of users or out of the blockchain. I've also heard of another thing, which is a liquid staking derivative, which would allow you to withdraw your rewards instantly. And this would all be done via borrowing and lending, a very similar system to Anchor Protocol. Basically, they've taken Anchor Protocol and they have put it in a bowl and they've hit it with a mashed potato masher, more or less, and sim what comes out of it. But more or less, when you bastardize it down to its core concept, it's just another Anchor Protocol, and it actually risks the blockchain because you provide too much liquidity. It could get really dangerous. It's one of those things. It's kind of like this USTC burn, right? If they do burn 800 million, they're actually better off burning that 800 million in, say, 8 burns, and burn them 100 million USTC at a time, and burn it once a week, every week for 8 weeks, and gauge as much marketing as you can from those burns. Gauge as many new users as you can. The issue is, right, we don't have a marketing team to sort of advise these things and go, hey, you could really utilize this for, greater reach, greater scope, get more people to see you. The crypto community love burning. If they see that we're burning stuff, it could have an opposite effect as to the effect that it had last time. Like I've said, Binance burns once a month, and because that is so down to a schedule, it's on a format, traders can take profit out of that. And what we actually see is a load of inflow in before the burns. As soon as the burn happens, boom, sellout happens, and it sort of keeps going time and time and time again. But if we look at charts with everything that's going on, the USTC quant team, I'm going to be doing a video later today as to my view with the quant team, what's going on, and with all nodes going from a no vote to an abstain. I'm going to be doing a video on this, but so with the charts looking the way they're looking at the moment, and with what's going on with the quant team, the L1 ignoring governance, doing things behind closed doors, we haven't had a lot of good stuff going on, if that makes sense. If anything, the price should be getting crushed with fire blocks, with all of these different things that are going on that just doesn't look too good. There seems to be light at the end of the tunnel, right? But we've brought this unified vision forward, and the charts are starting to look a little bit more interesting. It's hit major headlines in Japan, across the globe, across crypto news. All of the sort of crypto news platforms have been covering the united vision. And I just think it's interesting. I think it's going to be an interesting few weeks. Like I was saying, I'm going to do a video on the quant team, what I'm specifically thinking about, and what I'm going to vote. I think it deserves its own video specifically for something that's so important. And this is kind of why we need this reason for vote memo system. Even with a short-handed reason for vote, it would help the community and those delegates understand a little bit better. But a few more things coming out for today. Other than that, folks, stay safe, stay humble, stay aware, and I will catch you in the next one.